Welcome to Eraverse, where we delve into pivotal moments in history. Today, we explore the tragic final journey of United Flight 175. On September 11th, 2001, at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, United Flight 175, a Boeing 767-222 with tail number N612UA, stood at Logan International Airport in Boston. This flight was destined for Los Angeles, on a morning so clear it was described as a Chamber of Commerce day, promising an unremarkable journey. In the flight deck, Captain Victor Saraceni, a seasoned veteran, and First Officer Michael Horrocks meticulously completed their pre-flight checks. Their conversation was technical, focused on weight balances, fuel loads, and weather reports, all part of a routine preparation. 51 passengers boarded, including families like the Hansons, with Peter, his wife Sue, and their 2-year-old daughter Christine. Among them were 5 terrorists, led by Marwan al-Shehhi, their simple box cutters concealed, bypassing the security checks of that era. At 7:58 a.m., Flight 175 departed, lifting off the runway at Logan and turning westward, its initial climb steep and powerful. To the passengers, the sound of the engines and the sight of the city below were the comforting beginnings of a journey. At 8:03 a.m., the pilots contacted Boston Air Traffic Control, cleared to climb to their cruising altitude of 33,000 feet, operating with clockwork precision. By 8:14 a.m., Flight 175 reached its initial cruising altitude above central Massachusetts, and flight attendants began beverage service. However, on the ground, in the Boston Center radar room, something was already terribly wrong. At this exact moment, American Airlines Flight 11, flying ahead of 175, stopped responding to ATC and deviated wildly from its course. ATC controllers began a frantic, isolated search for the rogue aircraft as the two flights, one peaceful and one hostile, converged on a shared destiny. At 8:37 a.m., an ATC controller, unable to locate Flight 11, asked Flight 175 to visually search for the missing plane. The Boston controller asked, "United 175, have you got American 11? Do you see him at all?" Captain Saraceni calmly replied, "Affirmative. We had him a minute ago. He was probably about 29, 30,000, 31,000 feet, and he was heading about south." At 8:38 a.m., the controller, now highly concerned, instructed Flight 175 to climb to 35,000 feet for separation from the erratic Flight 11. The tone in the controller's voice marked the first audible shift from routine to alarm. At 8:41 a.m., Captain Saraceni keyed the radio, transmitting a chilling snippet inadvertently picked up from Flight 11's frequency. Saraceni reported, "We heard a suspected transmission of someone keying a mic saying a couple of times, 'Everyone stay in your seats.' This confirmed the terrifying truth, a hijacking." At 8:46 a.m., the world of Flight 175 had about 60 seconds of life remaining before its own attacker struck. At this precise time, American Flight 11 slammed into the North Tower, unknowingly drawing Flight 175 into a coordinated attack. At 8:47 a.m., Marwan al-Shehhi and his 4 accomplices executed their plan swiftly and brutally. Flight attendants were stabbed as the cockpit door was breached, the sounds of struggle swallowed by the pressurized cabin. At 8:47 and 8 seconds a.m., the cockpit was taken. Evidence appeared on Boston Center radar. Flight 175's transponder code changed abruptly. This unauthorized manipulation confirmed the hostile takeover, and the plane began its sharp, unauthorized turn toward New York. At 8:51 a.m., Air Traffic Control repeatedly attempted to contact 175. United 175, acknowledge. Silence. Over the next 4 minutes, the aircraft began a terrifying, massive loss of altitude, dropping 8,000 feet in an operational maneuver far exceeding normal limits. With hijackers in the cockpit, passengers and remaining crew were forced into the back of the plane. Here, a few people, using rare airphones and cell phones, initiated their final, heroic communications. At 8:52 a.m., flight attendant Robert Fangman reached United Airlines Maintenance Operations Center in San Francisco. His voice, strained and terrified, delivered vital facts. "We've been hijacked. 2 flight attendants have been stabbed. They appear to have knives and mace. At 8:58 a.m., Peter Hansen, trapped with his family, managed to call his father, Lee Hansen, in Connecticut. The conversation was punctuated by his efforts to shield his daughter from the terror. At 9 a.m., Peter Hansen's voice was low, trying not to alarm the terrorists. He confirmed the stabbings, the weapons, and the hijackers' assertion of a bomb on board, detailing the plane's strange, erratic movements. At 9:01 a.m., with the plane diving and banking sharply, Hansen recognized the city below. He delivered the final, dreadful intelligence. "It's getting bad, Dad. I think they're going to New York. I think they're going to the Empire State Building, or something." As the plane sped toward Manhattan, the connection broke. Hansen's last audible sound was a gasp, swallowed by static. The voice of the last civilian witness from the flight was silenced. At 9:02 a.m., Marwan al-Shehi flew the 767 at nearly 600 miles per hour, making a sharp, final bank over New York Harbor. He aligned the massive aircraft directly with the South Tower, a chillingly precise and catastrophic piece of navigation. For New Yorkers and millions watching live, the final message of Flight 175 was the visual evidence of its arrival. At 9:03 and 2 seconds a.m., United Airlines Flight 175 slammed into the South Tower between the 77th and 85th floors. The massive explosion of jet fuel created an enormous, dark cloud and firestorm, confirming the scale of the attack to the world. All 60 people on board were killed instantly, along with countless people in the tower at the point of impact. The second strike transformed the day from a tragic incident into a declared act of war. The evidence from the final phone calls, the violence, weapons, and hijackers' methods proved invaluable to investigators. The passengers and crew were unwilling final messengers. The story of Flight 175 is a profound reminder of courage in the face of absolute terror, preserved by those final, desperate fragments of communication. It is a story not just of destruction, but of the indelible human spirit trying to break through the silence of an airborne war zone. Thank you for exploring this profound moment in American history with us. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Arrowverse for more fascinating stories and history.